Hi everyone, my name is Kasia. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today I have something a bit different because I'd like to talk to you about my yarn stash. I have quite a lot of yarn and I'm going through a process of organizing it and destashing some of it. And I thought that maybe I'd talk to you about my sweater yarn quantities. I have plans for a majority of them. Sorry, I have two demon calico cats running around me, so sorry for any interruptions. I'd like to go through the sweater yarn quantities that I have. I have plans for a majority of them, and I hope that maybe for those that I am not sure about what to do with, maybe you could help me. So let's start. I buy quite a lot, well, maybe not a lot, but I buy some yarn on Vinted, secondhand, whenever I see something that is at a good price or maybe something that is not that easily available to me, I will be more inclined to buy it. And of course, I'm looking mostly for sweater quantities because what's the point of buying one skein when I actually have multiples of those after other projects. So the first yarn quantity that I want to share, and sorry if there will be some noise in the meantime different than the one produced by the demon cats. I have all of the yarn stored in plastic bags, plastic Ziploc bags, so I might just forget not to make the noise while I'm speaking at the same time. Sorry in advance if that happens. So the first sweater yarn quantity is actually something that I bought on Vinted, and let me grab a color of each. Love those colors. This is Estelle Yarns Eco Tweed Decay. TD. This is Estelle Yarn Eco Tweed Decay. And I have bought 5 skeins of this beautiful plum color, 3 of the lighter pink, and I have 1 of the like pea-shoot green. I will put all of the information on the screen about the colors that I have. But this is like, the colors are amazing. The tweed speckles are very subtle, but they add a lot of dimension to the yarn. This is something that I have never seen in shops here in Europe, at least in the ones that I've been to. Didi! Yeah! Yeah! I think that Estelle is a Canadian producer of yarn. It looks quite thin for a DK yarn, but I suspect it will be blooming a lot. And it's 350 meters to 100 grams. The recommended needle size is 4 millimeters, and it's 50% organic wool, 25% organic alpaca, and 25% cellulosic viscose. I assume that majority of that viscose is those speckles, but it looks like a very interesting blend of fibers, especially that it's all organic, and it's really soft. I also love this combination of colors. My plan for this yarn is Tecumseh by Caitlin Hunter, and I'm planning, since I have the most of this color, I have a lot of it actually, because it's so, it seems to be so thin because it's 350 meters to 100 grams. Like, I will still have a lot of leftovers, but I will, I'm sure I will find something for those in the future. But yeah, this will be my main color, and then those like arches in the pattern will be done in the lighter pink, and I hope that 350 meters will be enough to do the crosses in the pattern. It should be enough, as far as I remember when looking at the yarn requirements. So this is a beautiful pattern that I was interested in for quite a few years now, but yeah, I never knew. I'm not good myself in combining yarn colors, like colors in general. So like 3 colors geometric design, I was not feeling comfortable picking the colors myself. But since those were kind of like in the same bundle, those were all bought from the same seller on Vinted, I feel like they go really well, and I didn't have to make the decision myself, so I think this one will be perfect. And yeah, I'm looking forward to knitting this one. I know that people say that it's quite a roomy sweater with the circular yoke construction, but I kind of like that vibe, so even if it turns out to be like too flowy, too oversized, maybe it will not be that bad for me. The next yarn that I have in my stash that I plan on making a sweater with is something that I have already talked about in my previous video, my podcast episode, and this is Raumagarn Fivel in those 2 colors. This is this light gray color, heathered gray. Let's see if the camera will pick it up. And this one is this beautiful royal blue. This is Rauma Fivel, and I have bought the booklet by Rauma as well, and I plan to make the Fjäreganser 425/9 pattern from that booklet. And of course this will be my main color, well, maybe not of course, but this will be my main color, and this will be the color work pattern. I bought this yarn as a souvenir to myself when we were together with my husband in Oslo the past December. And yeah, I saw this design on the Knitting Traditions podcast. Inga made that sweater quite a few years ago, and yeah, I really like the color work pattern as well as the simple design and the amount of ease that the sweater provides. Also, this I have never done this high mock neck thing, so I'm looking forward to making that sweater with this beautiful yarn combination. And in the most recent podcast, or like All I Knit in 2025 by Inga, she said that this yarn pills a lot, and I can see why, because it's very delicate. It's a rustic yarn, it's not scratchy at all, but come on, focus. But it's very lightly spun, and I think this is why it might be pilly. But let's see, if it pills, then I will depill it, and that's fine. Next yarn that I have is a bit more problematic. I am not sure what to do with it, and this yarn is by a company called Kilkara of Donegal, Donegal Tweed, DK Pure New Wool. It's 414 meters to 50 grams, and it's in this dark navy, like dusty navy color with some beige and red and some bits of green and lighter blue, some tweed bits. I have 11 of those, which gives me like around 1,200 meters, a bit more than that, I believe. And it's single ply yarn. It's quite rustic. The color is beautiful. This is again something that I bought on Vinted at a very good price, so I couldn't say no to that. But I'm honestly not sure what to do with this one. So I'm thinking that I'll do the No Frills sweater by Petite Knit. Just because since this is a bit rustic, at first I thought that maybe I could do a Monday sweater with that, but since this is a bit rustic and Monday sweater has more of a like higher crew neck, from looking at the pictures, No Frills is like has like a more delicate neckline, so maybe this should become No Frills. But if you have any idea on what I could make with 1,200 meters of this yarn, please let me know. I would be very glad to hear your proposals. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. This is the Sunday tee by Petite Knit, but I made it long sleeve quite a few years ago. It's made in hulls Titicaca held double. Titicaca is 100% alpaca yarn. I think it's like a lace weight yarn. It's something that you'd rather hold with another yarn to give it just a bit of fluff. But I decided to hold it double, and yeah, I really like the sweater. I really like the fit of the circular yoke, and I'm definitely gonna be making more of the Sunday Sunday shirts, and I think I will be making more long sleeved. Like I did a random rate of decreases, and I think that it worked out perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm using that one a lot, and I need to depill this one a lot because yeah, the alpaca doesn't want to look nice after it's been worn a few times. I have a couple more sweater yarn quantities that will become patterns from Petite Knit, I think. And the first one is another souvenir from Oslo, another Rauma garn. Rauma garn is not that popular in Poland. I have noticed that it appeared in some one shop in Poland, one online shop in Poland, but I have never seen it in person. And I know this is like a typical Norwegian brand, and also Inga from the Knitting Tradition really likes this yarn, so I wanted to try it myself. So I bought, apart from Rauma Finul, I bought 2 sweater yarn quantities of not Rauma Finul, Rauma Fivel, the one for Fjäregenser. I bought two sweater yarn quantities in Rauma Finul. First one is this one. It's this beautiful apple green color. I have 8 skeins of each of the colors. And Rauma Finul is a sport weight yarn. Again, it's not that, it doesn't have a lot of twist. It's rough, it's rustic, but it's not scratchy at all. It's just very dry, very squishy. And I'm planning to make the poppy tee with this one. I think it will look amazing in this grassy green color. I will be making it long sleeve because I don't see a point in doing it short sleeve in rustic yarn. I don't think it will be that difficult to modify it to a long sleeve. Like, again, do a random rate of decreases and hope for the best, and if not, frog and try again. I think that like poppy tea, I believe, is the recommended yarn is also sport weight, so this should be perfect. And I want to make it first with this yarn, which is beautiful and amazing, but it's a bit more on the budget friendly side. It was still extremely expensive because everything in Norway is extremely expensive, but yeah, it's a bit more budget friendly because another version of the poppy tea that I'm planning to make is with something very special. Let me grab the box, because I have 12 skeins of Cardiff Cashmere Classic that I bought a few years ago, and it's in this beautiful red color. I have some cedar rings in all of my the places where I keep yarn, just to be sure that no moth is allowed. And I have 12 skeins of Cardiff Cashmere Classic in this beautiful red color. It's on the screen it looks a bit more saturated than it is. It's a bit darker. Like, you can see hints of black in this red. And yeah, I had it for a few years now, and I've been very precious about it because it's such an expensive yarn. I don't want to mess it up, so I thought that I will firstly try to make the poppy tea with Raumagarn Phenol, and see how I like it. Do I need to make any adjustments to the fit? And then I will make it in the Cardiff Cashmere, which is, I believe, the recommended yarn, the original recommended yarn for the poppy tea. And then I will have this peace of mind that I'm less likely to screw it up. As I mentioned, I bought 2 different colors of Rauma Phenol. The 2 colors in sweater yarn quantities, and this is the second one. It's this beautiful dark aubergine color, like aubergine / plum. And with this one I plan to make, let me take a look at the name, to make the field sweater. So again, it's a circular yoke construction with those like plant like design. It was very popular a few years ago, I think, and I saw that quite a few people made it with phenol. I said on Ravelry, and I think that it will be something a bit different in this color. I've seen a lot of like grass colors or golden, something that is very reminiscent of those, yeah, the fields of gold. But with this one it will not be that obvious. Sorry, the cat is trying to get into my toilet. As I was saying, this color shouldn't be field sweater in this color will be something a bit more different, I feel, and I think that this color will suit me really well. So again, looking forward to casting on this one. Probably majority of those projects will have to wait until like the second half of the year because it's the middle of January now and I have something else on my needles currently, so yeah, I cannot knit on everything that I want in the time that I have. This next yarn is something that I am again very excited to work with. I have heard a lot of good stuff about this brand and this type of yarn in the recent months, and the yarn that I'm holding up right now is Yulis by the Rerum Natura in this beautiful green color. It's the color name is Emerald, sorry, and it's this like very true green, but on what seems to be a darker base. It's very saturated. It's very, very bright. I love it. And this yarn again is a sport weight yarn. This one is a bit more twisted. And I have 10 skeins of this one, and what I'm planning to make with it is 108 sweater by Bana Kavanagh. Yes, it's an all over cabled sweater, and I have seen that some of the testers used this particular yarn for their versions, and it looks beautiful. And I think it will be amazing to have a cabled sweater. I like knitting them, I like wearing them, but majority of them is quite heavyweight, and it will be amazing to have this lighter version in the sport weight yarn for like the times when it's not that cold, but you still want to have the cozy cabled sweater. So yeah, bought this one during last summer, and I have honestly no idea why I didn't start with that one already. I'm in love in that color. Another yarn that I bought on Vinted at an amazing price. Like some of those yarns that I buy, and this as well, I paid for 10 skeins less than I would have paid for all of them. Like I bought 10 skeins and the price was as if I was paying for less than one of them. So yeah, how can you not buy them if you see such a good deal? But this yarn is Viking Garn Alpaca Litten Storm, and it's 40% alpaca superfine, 40% merino, and 20% nylon fiber. So I guess this one could be used as for socks. I am not a sock knitter. I just get so bored when knitting socks, and I have 10 skeins of this one, which gives me, each skein is 175 meters to 50 grams, so it gives me 1,750 meters, which means I can do something for my husband with this one. This seems to be like sport weight or maybe light sport weight yarn, and what I would like to do with this one, recently I have tested a men's sweater for Woozy by Celine. It's called Mateo Sweatshirt Light. I have shown this one in my previous podcast episode. It's a men's sweater made in a fingering weight yarn on 4mm needles, so it's very lightweight, and my husband really likes it a lot. So I'm thinking about making him another version in this color. It's this, like, on their website they describe it as blue, but it's very very dusty, very gray kind of blue, and I think that my husband will look really, really nice in this one. And again, it should work for the gauge. Maybe it will be a bit more dense of a fabric than fingering weight on 4mm needles. I will check, I will do some swatches, and I will check if I go for the same needle size but the denser gauge, or maybe change needle size and play with the size of the sweater. But yeah, that was an amazing find on Vinted, and very happy that I'll be able to do something for my husband with this one. This next yarn that I have is very fun. This is something that I have bought on a yarn festival here in Poland a couple of years ago, and those are two different yarns. First of them, let me do it one by one first. First of them is this bright neon fuchsia pink by Mysnicki. It's a hand-dyed yarn, and the composition of this one is, the base is called Meripaka Sock, and it's 60% superwash merino, 20% superfine alpaca, 20% nylon. It's 400 meters to 100 grams, and the color is called Magnificent Magenta. It is magnificent. And I have 3 skeins of it, so 1200 meters. And then I want to pair it with this funky mohair. It's so cool. Like, I wouldn't have picked this one up myself, but I was like, the dyer herself, she recommended to pair it with this one. And this one is mohair, silk mohair by Wool and Color. This is like a brand of a shop called Wełna Bawełna here in Poland. And this is a typical kid mohair silk, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. And it's 420 meters to 50 grams. And again, I have 3 skeins of it. So I want to pair those together to make the Cosmo sweater by Raz Knitwear. I have already made this sweater a few years ago, but this was one of my first sweaters and I knitted way too tightly. I did it in Drops Lima, the wool alpaca blend. Love that base, but I knitted way too tightly and it was a bit too dense for me, too heavy, too warm. Like, I run a bit hot. So I'm thinking about making this sweater. It has this stunning but simple design of broken rib, like in this, how will I call it, diagonal shape, bordered with a 2-stitch cable. And I think it will be so fun in those 2 colors, and so much lighter than the one that I made in Drops Lima. So yeah, very fun. And I maybe should cast this one on sooner than later, because I think it will be very fun to have such a sweater for the early spring when it's still cold, but you want this bright pop of color and you will have the flowers and the grass. Yeah, I think I will cast this one on sooner than later. Another hand-dyed yarn that I bought a few years ago, or maybe last year, on one of the festivals. It's in this beautiful purple color. I have actually 6 skeins of it, and it's a fingering weight yarn, so I have 2,400 meters, because initially I thought that I will hold it double to make a DK weight. And sorry if it's getting dark, like it's winter. If the colors are not okay, I will try to put in some photos of the the yarn. But this one is from a Polish dyer called Włóczki Warmii, and it's a 100% virgin merino wool. It doesn't say that it's superwash, so I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't have this superwashy feeling, so I don't know if it's actually because it's not superwash, or maybe it's because it was made like this not to feel superwashy. But nevertheless, as I said, I have 2,400 meters of this one, and I don't think I will be holding it up, 2 strands of it together. I have a cone of like this purple, more dusty purple mohair that I bought like on one of the Facebook groups, I think. So I'm thinking about pairing it together, and since I have so much when it comes to meterage of this yarn, I'm thinking about making a sweater plus a skirt out of it. And one of the patterns, there is a set of patterns, let's say, the Gerda sweater and the Gerda skirt by Egyo Knits. I think this might be quite cool, held with that mohair, but again, I need to make a swatch and see if it looks okay. But yeah, maybe if not the Gerda sweater, because it's a bit more of a textured one. I'm thinking about Knitonomy. I think Magdalena Parker a few months ago released the Boston pullover sweater, and it's the simple design with a very large rib, like, I don't know, 7x1 or something like that. And I think this might be quite cool to have a simple sweater and a simple ribbed skirt in this yarn with the mohair. Let me know. Another yarn from a Polish dyer. The dyer is called Furora Yarns, but I'm not sure if it's actually, this one is actually like handmade, or if it was maybe mass dyed. It doesn't say, but maybe this is just like not a producer but distributor of this yarn. Furora Yarns, the base is called Mista. Apparently it was made in Italy. And this one is 70% virgin wool, 30% alpaca. The color is cobalt. And it's, again, 150 meters to 50 grams, so again, sport weight. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of fluff coming out of this one. I have almost 10 skeins of it. I borrowed one skein to my mom, who needed just a bit of it to finish one of her projects. So I have almost 10 skeins. And what I'm planning to do with this one, even though like by meterage it's more of a sport weight, I think that because of the fluff, I'm trying to separate the strands, because of the fluff, it will look okay in a DK weight project. And I'm thinking about, I'm looking down because I have my notes here. I'm thinking about sweater number 28 by My Favorite Things. It's this cool, sophisticated looking design with a higher color, like not even a color, because like there is no distinct line of it being a color. It's high neck and in this broken rib texture that I really like. And I think that with the fluff and this color, it will look amazing. The only thing I'm concerned about is if it will be scratchy, because this neckline is a bit higher. But again, it's more of a floppy one, so maybe it won't be that difficult. Like this yarn is not scratchy, but I now feel that it's a bit prickly, probably because of those alpaca hairs sticking out. And I'm afraid that if I'm too warm in this sweater, it will be unbearable. But maybe that won't be the case. Maybe I'm overreacting. Let's see. Okay, there are two more yarns that I want to share with you, and both of them I bought on Vinted again from the same seller. It's actually the same base in two different colors. It's something what looks like a very vintage yarn. The base is called Denis, and I believe it was produced in Czechoslovakia or in one of the countries that were like separated into Czech and Slovakia. I don't know, I'm probably saying some stupid thing right now, so sorry. But the producer, I think the name of the producer is Nejdek. The composition of the yarn, I think, again, is 100% wool. And it seems to be 200 meters to 100 grams. It has this interesting twist, and it's quite like lofty yarn. And I have it in those two colors. Again, this green is absolutely beautiful. This one is this dusty blue gray. And I'll be making the same sweater with both of them. I have 10 skeins of each. And I have asked my husband which color he likes best. He chose this one. I won't be complaining because I love this color. But I will be making a Moby sweater both for myself in the green and for my husband in the dusty blue. I have never made the Moby sweater for anyone. I don't know why. I think it's a staple for anyone who makes cabled sweaters. I love knitting cables. I have knitted quite a few sweaters with cables, but I have never made a Moby sweater. So I hope this yarn will be great for that purpose, and we can have a match with my husband, even though it will be a match in different colors. Again, bought this at a very good price, so very happy. It smells a bit weird, like as if someone was keeping it at the attic for a very long time. And looking at the label, like even on the other side, it looks really, well, not really, but it looks old. So I suspect that it might have been in the attic for 30-40 years. I don't see any damage to the yarn, so I don't think there's any risk of it being moth contaminated. So yeah, even though it smells weird, it's still beautiful yarn, and I'm happy to be able to use it. So that's all that I wanted to talk to you about today. I have more yarn in my stash, probably even in sweater quantities, but those I found most interesting to talk to you about. If you have any ideas what else I could do with some of those yarns, let me know. If not for those particular yarns, not those particular colors, I'm sure your suggestions will be great inspiration for some of the future makes. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment, and subscribe if you want to see any of my future videos. Thank you. Bye.